We're sorry. All of our representatives are still assisting other customers. Please remain on the line as we value your call.
Hey, this is Paradox 9, and we're coming to you about orbs. These orbs are usually shot with digital photography and has become pretty popular with the ghost hunter types. It's a phenomena that we've been looking into for some time. As a matter of fact, back in 1998, I think it was, somewhere around there, me and a good friend, we used to take digital cameras, and besides taking pictures of products for the websites we were building, we'd take the cameras out to the graveyards. We noticed right away that these orbs were appearing in all our photos. It was pretty spooky at the time, I have to tell you. We never really did get down to the bottom of it, but we actually wanted to start investigating way back in 98. Now, it wasn't before long, of course, we started taking video, and then we started seeing the orbs move around. I personally always thought perhaps it was something new in the camera, some type of technology glitch or something. I never did think it was spirits, but then when the videos came out, it really made me wonder, because of the nature of the way we'd see these orbs move around. Now, some orbs flicker by, and some orbs float around in a singular form, maybe one or two of them, or three perhaps, but they seem to be on their own, with their own kind of little destiny inside of your living room, floating above your kid's head. So we took a lot of videos, and a lot of people have. So I've presented some videos here that I think are exceptional, and I've also taken liberty to show you some pictures that I think are over the top. It seems a little strange to me when you see thousands and thousands of these orbs floating around the tops of the gravestones. I sometimes wonder, could it just be pollen? And with anything that ever touches the supernatural realm of conversation or study, we have tricksters. And I think sometimes it's hard to tell, but most of the times you can tell it's just too perfect. The picture's just too perfect, and you can tell this is probably going to be a fake. What I do find fascinating is that some of these orbs, as they're floating around on their own, act very much like a UFO. Like the lights up in the sky. They flicker, they float around, they disappear, they reappear, and that's what I'm interested in. That's the connection that I'm looking at. That's the connection that I want to look into. Now, I've enhanced some of these photos, or should I say videos, of these orbs floating around, so maybe we can get a handle on if they're solid, if they're energy, if they're fuzzy, if they're smooth. Now, as you can tell from some of these videos, I haven't altered anything. The colors of the orbs you're actually seeing, the purples or the yellows, some are even ruby red, and they're not an orb, they're almost elongated, with shifting orbs in between the two orbs on either side. Now, back when I lived in New Mexico, I walked outside of my house. I lived in a small town called Madrid, New Mexico. As I stepped out the back door, an orb about the size of maybe a basketball. It came around me. It was a yellow glowing ball, and it almost looked smooth, but it was amazing how much color it gave out, which I found really fascinating because it stayed low enough under the cactuses and the brush, and it wasn't very high, but it kind of went in between the cactuses and the brush, shooting shadows sideways across the desert floor. Now, the thing moved around me in a circular motion, then it went down the hill to the lonely highway in the middle of the night, which I lived on top of a hill, but it went down the hill to the highway and actually made a right turn onto the highway and went through the valley following the highway out till I couldn't see it anymore. Now, although I would classify that as a UFO, it was an orb. Now, I've had people tell me it's ball lightning or some kind of electrical discharge from the earth or something of that nature. But I can tell you, when it circled around me, went down the hill, and took the highway out of town in the middle of the night, to me, that was intelligent. That was a UFO. Anyway, the last video we're going to show you is pretty interesting. I found it while I was researching the Skinwalker Ranch. I'll be doing a video on that coming up, but as you can imagine, it's quite a bit to unpack. But I found this video. It's of a UFO that was shot in Utah back in 2008. I thought it was pretty interesting. I changed some of the colors on it so we could take a better look at it. But notice at the end, there's a blinking light. As it starts blinking out, there's also a corresponding blinking light off to the left. I want to see if you can notice that. And this might be something what I consider popping in and out of alternate universes. Not so much nuts and bolts, and that's what I'm getting at, that this might be a spiritual event and not so much aliens from Pluto or Uranus. Anyway, take a look, tell me what you think, leave me a comment. Hope you like the video. Look forward to the Skinwalker video coming out soon. It's taking a lot of work, but it's coming. Thanks, it's Paradox9. I'm out.
We're sorry. All of our representatives are still assisting other customers. Please remain on the line as we value your call.